So Tuesday, 28th of April, the sun has gone, the rain has come back, and a quick update for constituents. Firstly, sadly, in Norfolk, we've hit 249 deaths in hospitals, and obviously there will be, and there are, more in care homes in our county. We have a huge care sector. Those numbers are being compiled separately. Firstly, is just thoughts and prayers go to all of those who've lost loved ones, and to all those workers in the front line of NHS care and other public services who are putting themselves at risk, and for those who've lost their lives in the service of the rest of us. This is an incredibly moving and difficult time against this silent enemy. Good news on various fronts. I mean, firstly, these numbers are horrific, but they are a fraction of what was originally forecast if the government hadn't taken the steps that it has. Without a lockdown, the epidemiologists were predicting 200,000 deaths. So it's worth just bearing in mind the scale of what's going on around the country and economically and around the world. Economically, America's now got 10 million unemployed. I think maybe nearer 20 million unemployed now. We haven't seen anything like that here in the UK because of the scale of the government intervention. So we are doing an extraordinary job as a country, pulling together and people sticking to this lockdown to beat the virus. And the Prime Minister put it better than any of us. This is a huge national effort of which everyone can and should be proud. It's good to have the Prime Minister back, and some very, very big decisions to be taken now about how quickly we can end this lockdown. News from here in Norfolk: the PPE issue is resolved. There's good supplies now in the county, emergency supplies held by the county council, so that any hospital, GP or care home that needs it can get hold of any PPE. The county and the local enterprise partnership are topping up government supplies, sourcing from local companies and from others around the country and around the world. So that issue should be now sorted and in hand. We've got to make sure that everybody in care homes and everybody in the public sector front line has got the protection that they need. On the impact on the local economy, this week's call with the local enterprise partnership, we've talked through the statistics and the data on where we are. Basically, 30,000 companies in Norfolk. The vast majority are small businesses, 1, 2, 3, 4 employee companies on the high streets and working from home around the county. And the picture this week is that 15,000 are in direct receipt of the government support, and about 90% of those that are eligible for support through the local authorities are now getting that support. There were one or two important groups that still need real help that are falling between the gaps. Some of the self-employed who receive their income each year as a dividend on their shares. Some of the very small self-employed, the 1-2 person employees who don't have premises, so don't qualify for the rates relief. And one or two other groups, and the MPs, each week we have a 9 MP teleconference call with all the key agencies in the county. This week's with the LEP. We've set out a plan to pick up those specific groups with ministers in London, and we're pushing hard to make sure that Norfolk has an economic recovery plan that's supported by government, so that when we're through this we can bounce back rather than crawl slowly back and reduce bankruptcies and unemployment to an absolute minimum. And delighted yesterday to see the Chancellor announce what we've been calling for here in Norfolk, which was a proper bounce back grant scheme, which will help many, many thousands of small companies in our patch. So big challenge now is to try and make sure that we track and trace. The testing numbers are going up each day, and we've got to make sure we're mobilising all those amazing volunteers. The evidence around the world shows the only way to really get on top of this disease and manage it out is to test, and track and trace. Literally volunteers calling people to find who people who've gone down with the disease have seen, so that we can really isolate it. And then we can begin to unlock the economy, as the Prime Minister put it, one engine at a time. And we're doing a lot of work here in Norfolk to see if we can make the case to government which sectors could get back to work most quickly without increasing the viral risk. I'm continuing to work with and for and on behalf of all the Norfolk 9 MPs to coordinate our work together so that we reduce duplication and make it easier for all the agencies that we're liaising with. And we've created a dashboard of all the key metrics that we need in the county to manage our way through this. Final message to all of you who are helping in any way, incredible effort. Thank you for all that you're doing on behalf of everyone in Mid-Norfolk. And a message from all the MPs for the county. We are working as a team and making sure that the reality here in Norfolk is being fed back to ministers. And there will be lots of lessons to learn rightly when this is all done. But for now, we need continued teamwork, continued support for each other, and to make sure we put the needs of the most vulnerable and at risk first. Thank you all, and stay safe. And for now, stay indoors. Let's help defeat this disease once and for all.